got love for you, man. You know what I'm saying?
What are we talking about? You know, I'm not here to start any trouble.
I'm only going to say nice things about you from now on. I think you're handsome, and I think you're a wonderful host.
I'm fat and I'm overweight. Just don't say anything silly.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take it serious.
You know, I don't want y'all to take anything out of context that I'm saying.
He's very funny. He likes to joke around a lot.
As a personality and as an entertainer, yes.
This is going to be really quick. I'm not taking any questions.
Go ahead and get comfortable. I'm going to talk for a little bit.
You're listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.
Welcome to the show. I'm your annoying host, Cabbie Richards. Thank you for the click, the download, and the next hour or so of your life that I can never give back to you. So I appreciate you giving me something. Even though I don't know where you are, I can't see you physically, I can't touch you, I can't hold you, I can't hug you because you're somewhere on planet Earth, currently not next to me, I still thank you. Whether you're on a road trip or at the gym or on your way to work, I hope this conversation will make you make the trip less boring and more mindless. I'm good for that. Anything mindless. Via Twitter and Instagram, it's at TheRealCabbie, TheRealCabbie. And over the past few years, my interest in MMA has grown considerably. The first time I saw, I was going to say, and the only time, but I've seen cards since. The first UFC event that I saw in person was Rampage Jackson versus Forrest Griffin at the MGM in Vegas, and I think it was 2008. Very cool. They treat the media very well, get to sit like 3 rows away from the cage. It was pretty awesome. And every time there's a UFC card, since then, I hit up my friend John Henderson to find out more about the actual card, or my good friend Dave Beakley out in Winnipeg for the intel on the fighters. Both of my close friends agree that my guest today is a rising star, and his profile should be bigger than it is. In time, I'm sure it will be. He joins me on the phone right now.
If it's going to be an interview, I'm going to conduct it. So I'll answer my own questions, ask myself the questions, then give y'all the answers.
My guest today is underrated. He's one of the best fighters in his weight class and in the entire UFC, and the public isn't aware of this as much as it should be. This isn't supposed to light a fuse, but only to inform you that my guest, Phil Davis, is a great fighter that can punch your face off. Where he isn't underrated is an interview and a personality. He's ranked in the top for good reason. He's always honest, always playful, and as it is said, always wearing pink shorts under his jeans. And I'm pleased to be welcomed by UFC light heavyweight Phil Davis on the phone. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you? That was one of the best introductions I've ever got. You're on thin ice right now because you're rivaling Bruce Buffer. All right, that's pretty solid right there.
Well, I'll tell you, I will probably crack through the ice because I weigh 240 pounds and I'm a fat bastard. So Bruce Buffer definitely has me on that. Man, that intro was a little rocky. I was like reading off a screen, like I wrote this morning. Man, it's like I feel like I'm in the grade 6 again, reading in front of the class. That was pretty rough.
Wasn't that awful? Goodness, I guess kids have to do it, but that made my palms sweat, and that was like unbelievable.
Wasn't it the worst? Like, even if you had confidence in reading, it's just like you're not gonna it's like you're trying not to read too loud, and then remember when the teacher would go around and would just pick people to start reading through the book, and then you're like, oh, if this person picks me, you're like going forward and like reading passages just so you get the words right in your head before you have to say them out loud. Did you do that too?
My goodness. I thought I was the only person that did that.
Oh man, dude, I was just like you, hand sweating like the winter storm came and everyone ran. Like I was just going through it in my head and trying to get it to sound perfect and racing through, just messing up the punctuation and the grammar. Needless to say, I was not a good student. Were you?
I was a very weird, very odd student. Like I didn't have bad grades, But you know, I didn't have great grades either. I mean, all through grade school, you know, I feel like I was always A's and B's.
Dude, A's and B's that's a solid student. You can't that's a really good student. A's and B's? I thought you were gonna say like C minus, D plus. Like that's kind of my range.
Well, you know, it's one of those things where I was really smart, but I didn't really apply myself. So, I mean, A's and B's it was weird. It was very weird. I was awesome at like French and Spanish and English. I wasn't. I mean, I literally would get A's in like French and in Spanish, and then like B's, sometimes C's in English, and it's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, like I speak English. How am I getting a C in English?
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Hey,
don't get me wrong. I have no idea what it is, but that was my deal. You didn't have to read out loud as much in French.
Dude, you guys learned French? Like you're from outside of you're from Pennsylvania, but you grew up closer to Pittsburgh than Philadelphia, yeah?
No, I grew up an hour away from Philly, 2 hours from Pittsburgh, so two and a half. I grew up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the capital.
So wait, you guys learned French? Like that's amazing to me because in Canada, everybody learns French because it's our second language.
Right. Well, I went to this selective public school. It was an amazing school. I wish it was around now. They kind of did away with it and did some other things in my school district, but it was, you know, your parents had to like wait in this awful line to get you in, and they had to apply, and really, you really had to be really intentional about getting your kids into school. My mom was like all about it. She was out there at 6 a.m. waiting in line to get me into school.
Oh wow!
And both of my brothers. And the deal was with the school, we were the only school in the district that had well, not a dress code, but you had to wear a shirt and tie every day. So from second grade to sixth grade, I wore a shirt and tie every single day.
Oh wow!
And,
okay.
And along with that, you had French, Spanish, and they were just very intentional about expanding the classroom, and it was an awesome school.
What did you? Was it an all boys school or was it co-ed?
It was co-ed, public school. It was just selective.
What was the school called? What was it?
It was called Ben Franklin Elementary.
Of course it was.
Yeah. All my friends at Ben Franklin Elementary they're all pretty they're all doing pretty well. It was a really tight knit group of us, and man, it was definitely some of the best and the brightest of Harrisburg.
Okay, so let me get to this. So I don't know if you because this kind of relates to public school. I don't know if you saw the Billboard Awards over the weekend, but R&B artist Miguel was performing his hit song Adorn. It was a dope rendition. He was like giving it his all. Did you see this, what Miguel did at the Billboard Awards?
No, I actually just kind of heard about it on Twitter.
Okay.
So he did something like jumped off the stage, and I don't know, some girls got crushed. I have no idea what happened really.
So I'm watching this in like Sunday night, and you know, I'm laying in bed, and so Miguel is towards the end of the song. He's got these like Prince heels on, and this white suit, and he jumps from the stage to like this catwalk, like this runway where other artists can perform, or some of the artists can introduce the next acts. So he jumps, and it's like he jumps over a mosh pit, and he doesn't quite have the hops that he thought he did, like he wasn't quite LeBron James. So when he landed on the catwalk on the other part of the stage, he kicked one girl in the face, and he leg dropped another girl around the head. Like, dude, it was so painful. Like, it looked bad. And then both of the girls sort of crumbled next to the stage, and then they were underneath this catwalk crying. I'm sure their faces were bloodied. Like, and then like he finishes the song, like he gets up and he kind of does this sort of the splits and tries to play it off. Then immediately it goes to commercial break. And I'm like, I say to my girl, I'm like, man, those two girls are concussed for sure. Like one girl got, and we rewound it probably 7 or 8 times, and then the internet is so great that like it provided a GIF like 3 or 4 minutes later, and you can see it's out there on the internet. If you have time, you can see Miguel. I'm sure it's on YouTube by now. Like leg dropping one girl and then fully drop kicking another girl.
Oh man, that is so awful.
Yeah. So like, okay, I wanted to get to this part. Like most guys, we do things to impress women. Like Miguel, I'm sure in his mind was like, well, let me do this cool move to impress the audience and impress girls or whatever. Wasn't the reason you started fighting to impress girls, Phil?
You know, usually everything I've ever done to impress a girl ended horribly.
Oh, really?
It's great that you mentioned Miguel because, I mean, gosh, he should have just walked around. I honestly started fighting just because, man, I love to compete. It's just in me as far back as I can remember. Matter of fact, at my grade school in the Franklin Prep, every day we wore a shirt and tie. At recess, we would take our ties off and play flag football.
Oh, so nice.
Tuck it into your pocket and play football.
Oh, nice. I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, competing is what I love to do.
Sorry to interrupt you there. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, it's just, man, no matter what it is, really, I'll freaking compete at anything. If you get, and it's what my coach in college, Dave Hart, called them dangerous days. You know, if you give me this is one of his favorite quotes, you know, if you give him any time to prepare for something, doesn't matter what it is, he'll win it, you know? And I'm the same way. No matter what I got into like a little beef with one of my buddies. This girl's a pro gamer. Her name's Celeste. She won the King of the Nerds television show on CBS.
Amazing.
And, dude, she's a pro gamer. And I was like, so I hear you play Halo. That's funny. I play Halo. I just want to know if you can hold your own with a real fighter, a professional fighter. So we link up on Xbox Live, and we have like a game night, and we invited a bunch of fans to come and play with us. And dude, she is legit.
Dude, did she light you up or what?
Oh my goodness, dude, she's legit. Like, she's awesome at the game. Now, part of my brain says, you know, you're going to lose. She's a pro gamer. I don't care if you play with some friends that are pretty good. She is a pro, and she's a notch above them, right? But in my mind, I'm like, dude, give me a break. You play Halo all the time with your boys. All the time. I can hold on with anybody. I played against some of the best in the world online, and yeah, you can hold your own with anybody. Dude, she smoked me.
And hey, don't lie. Like in the back of your head, part of it was like, how good can this girl be? Video games, that's my wheelhouse. I'm a dude. You know, that's like dude porn. Video games. How good could this girl be? Don't lie. That was in the back of your mind a little bit.
Oh, I mean, that was in the front of my mind. I mean, part of me doesn't really believe that a girl could be that good at games. As stupid as it sounds. I'm like, come on, girls don't really play games. But yeah, man, she's hardcore, dude. She was like, we were talking on Xbox Live, and you know, I get to know her a little bit. And she was telling me that she was working a full-time job, and she would still spend 10 to 12 hours a night.
Are you kidding?
10 to 12. I said, listen, man, you are something else.
Oh, my gosh. What, dude, okay, not to be mean to your friend, but if someone is sitting on a couch for 10 to 12 hours a night, she got to be like 300 pounds.
I'm glad she's actually not. She's like little tiny thing.
Really? Whoa, she is totally, I mean, not only is she like unique in that she's a female gamer, but she's also like an outlier for gamers that's put in like 10, 12 hours a night, and all you're doing is just reaching into a bowl of chips while you're lighting up dudes or people from all over the world on friggin' Xbox. That's impressive that she's not 300 pounds.
I mean, and on top of that, she's a pretty girl, and I'm like, how is it that a pretty girl, tiny, gets stuck behind an Xbox controller for 12 hours a day? Like, what?
Phil, how did you meet her?
We just linked up on Twitter and went to Xbox Live and had a huge party.
So have you met her in real life yet?
No.
So you've never even met her in real life. You just have this like text or like online relationship with this gamer who's pretty cute and who just lit your ass up in Halo.
Killed me. Like, left and right, dude. She's freaking amazing at it.
I'm on the phone with Phil Davis, light heavyweight from the UFC. I want to go back to something you said. How when you were in grade school or when you were in elementary school or even in high school, most of the things that you did to impress women ended terribly. Give me an example of one of those things, because I want to share one with you.
Oh, wow. Well, I don't know if I was actually starting this to necessarily impress her, but I was more or less doing it just to have fun. But yeah, it ended just as terribly. Just as terribly.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about the Halo thing?
Right.
No, give me Phil. I want a different one. I need a different one.
A different one?
Yeah, man. Give me something more embarrassing.
Man. Oh, okay. So my first, I was a freshman. My first time going to prom. This girl invited me to the senior prom.
What high school? What high school? And what was the girl's name?
The girl's name was Bethany Reed, and she went to Bald Eagle Area High School, which is like, it's kind of far away. But neither here nor there. So I had one, I was pretty blessed. I had pretty good skin. I a couple pimples here and there going through adolescence. But I really never had that, like, like horrible, like, acne.
Right.
Right? But my brother would have, like, acne spells from here and there, and he started using Proactive, right? And it cleared up his skin. So I had this one pimple the week of her senior prom, and I was like, oh, goodness, I have a pimple, man. I don't know what to do. I'm going to use my brother's Proactive. Dude, I used this Proactive, and it, like, blew my face apart.
No way.
Like, dried out my skin to, like, the 12th power. Like, it was unbelievable.
So you're out there at the prom at Bald Eagle Secondary School, whatever it's called, looking like the Thing from Fantastic Four. Like your face is like turned into like a chafy rock.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's a tough look. That's a tough look at 14 or 15 or however old you were. You said you were a freshman?
Yeah, freshman.
And how old was she? She was a couple years older than you. She was a senior or a junior?
She was a senior. Dude,
that's a lot of swag you had back then, Phil.
Yeah, I'm in the bag. I mean, but yeah. No, she was always cool people's, and she was just like, yeah, I'll have a date. Will you go with me? I was like, definitely, I'll go with you.
Oh, so wait, oh man, that's tough, because like in high school, everything is magnified by like 100 times. So like, to you, like the one pimple, you're like, oh, it's the end of the world. And then obviously when it went awry and your whole face just like, it changed, you was like, you probably, how did you even leave your house? You're probably like, I can't leave. I can't go. You're probably making it even worse, just pacing, trying to scrub it off. You're putting cocoa butter on your face, like aloe, like all these, and black people, we have all these like homemade elixirs for everything, like from like.
Oh, you already know. Homemade elixirs.
Dude,
don't be giving away all our secrets, man.
I know, right?
All our secrets.
My grandmother used to tell me to drink. She used to tell me to put like aloe the plant. I'm like, Grandma, where am I going to get aloe the plant? And then my grandma would just produce some from her purse, like had a stock of aloe in her purse, and I would rub it on my forehead and my nose because that's where I would break out. It was my grandmother was very crafty and definitely from the old country. Had all kinds of little homemade remedies for everything.
Yeah, you know what? I thought this the last time, but you and I could quite possibly be kin. I'm not even joking. That sounds exactly like my grandma.
Oh, dude,
exactly like my grandma.
I'm sure our experiences mirror each other. You in the U.S. and me in Canada, except that I'm a lot fatter and less talented than you. But maybe I'm a better gamer. I don't know. Maybe time will tell if we ever get to it on the control pads.
Well, no, not anymore, brother. Not anymore. I've already elevated my game. I can't just play with pro gamers and not take my game to the next level.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, so that's good. No. That's good to know. Then I need to get in the gym, so to speak, and step my. Well, I'm a PS3 guy, so I don't know if I go over to Xbox. I don't know if I'll have quite the same success as I do on PS3, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. I wanted to say that when I was in grade 2, I was trying to impress some girls on the swings, and it was recess, and I was trying to like go, you know how like when you're on the swing, you can get like parallel to the ground once you get like once you go back and forth like a pendulum, you get a lot of momentum. And then I jumped off the swings trying to show the girls like my flight. And I'm this fat, pudgy, I probably weighed 80 pounds at 7. Like I was just a chubby bastard. And don't I just land on, like in the sand, roll my ankle, start bawling in front of these girls. Like it was one of the worst days of my life. When things go bad, I'm right there crying, snot in my mouth, all that sort of thing. That was one of my most embarrassing stories.
Wow.
Yeah, my game's not that smooth, Phil.
At some point, I think at some point I tried to do something on a swing, and similar story. I always like to. You were doing it like Superman style, leaning forward, huh?
Yeah, like going back and forth, and then just launched, and I tried to launch forward. Yes.
Yeah, I tried that once and fell backwards out of the swing, like go completely parallel and like lay backward, almost like Cirque du Soleil style.
Dude, were you concussed? Was that your first ever concussion?
Oh man, I got a pretty solid head. I've taken some really good licks over the years, and man, I'm always in it.
Dude, when you mentioned 2 brothers, did you guys used to have like I grew up with 2 brothers as well. Did you guys used to do WrestleMania in the basement, like with the old mattresses, and then just be play fighting for hours? Did you guys used to do that too?
Oh yeah, we did it WrestleMania upstairs. And, we had I grew up in this 3-story house, and the top floor, it was 3 bedrooms, and that was all of our rooms. And man, we would get going, jumping off of beds, and just the whole deal, just craziness. And it was always over when something went wrong. It was like you didn't like. It wasn't like a tumble. It was like always your back flat on the ground, and you get the wind knocked out of you. You start crying, and before you even could get to your first breath to start crying, my mom was like, "Y'all can't stop that!" It was like something. It was a big event because you knew we were almost like came to the floor or something crazy.
Yeah, our WrestleManias always ended with a crash. Like it was somebody's bed broke, and then it was, dude, the most terrifying sound ever to like kids when they're playing is the sound of the parents' footsteps charging up the stairs. Because I don't know if your mom was quick on the trigger. My mom was, the belt was already in hand, or the slippers, and my mom was just firing just shots, whap, whap, and everybody was getting them. And then like it was the reason, my brothers became so much more athletic because they were just dodging blows from my mom from that belt, like jumping on, like we were doing Spider-Man in the room because we wanted to avoid the pain of getting whipped from my mom. And then Pops, when Pops came, it was no joke. That was like, it was like.
It was a wrap.
Oh, was it ever? It was a wrap. And by the wrap, we would get wrapped by his knuckles. Like, it was, that was a tough one. Did when Mom was charging up the stairs, did you ever try to hide? You just took it? Oh, you're a braver man than I.
Yeah, in that way, we were pretty good. Like, my mom would come for whooping, and we would just sit there trembling. And,
man, you have courage, dude. I mean, obviously you have courage, 'cause of the career that you've chosen. But man, that's courage from a young age. If you're just going to stand there just with a look on your face and just take whatever punishment is about to be handed to you.
Oh, man.
And
yeah, my mom was never the charge up the steps mom. She was always the sneak up the stairs mom. and just open the door and then it just catch you red-handed, doing whatever you're doing, jumping off the freaking bunk beds. Who knows? We used to do all types of craziness, man.
Dude, one thing my mom became more diabolical as we got older because, when you're like 13 or 14, you're like pretty big and your parents can't really discipline you physically like they could when you're a 7 or 8. And I'm on the phone with Phil Davis from the UFC. I don't know if your mom did this one, but this is like the height of my mom's diabolical scheming. When she wanted to punish us, I grew up in the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era. My mom would take the power cord for the Super Nintendo.
No.
She would put it in her purse and take it to work. So some parents would take the controllers, but then you could borrow a controller from a buddy, or she would try to hide the games, but you could still go play with a buddy. But she took the AC adapter that plugged into the wall, son.
The kids nowadays, like, most of the game systems use like a pretty standard. You can use your laptop cord.
Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah.
There's a bunch of different cords you can use now. In those days, there was one cord.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. And you couldn't go to like your printer, or maybe if you had a computer, you couldn't take the AC adapter from the computer to the printer. No, it was a different outlet in the back, different mechanism, and it had and it said Nintendo on it, or Super Nintendo, or Sega Genesis. It was only specific for that machine. So once that was gone, it was a wrap. You mentioned the prom, and I just saw the story the other day. Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat surprised a fan. She'd reached out to him at a book signing and said, "Hey, Dwayne, would you come to my prom?" Like, asked him about coming to her prom, and then she hit him up on Twitter a bunch of times, and then he granted her wish. So he showed up to her prom and made her night and made her year, and it was a really nice, touching story. It was cool to see like someone who's that famous do something like that. What do you remember from when you went to your proms? I know you told us a story earlier about going to Bethany Reed's prom and you were broken out in a couple of pimples. But once you were a junior or a senior, what do you remember from your prom?
Oh man, I didn't even tell you the truth. I didn't even want to go to my prom. I didn't.
What do you mean? What do you mean you didn't want to go to your prom? You don't want to be around like hot girls dancing and going to an after party and getting drunk?
My school, we did things different. I went to a public high school, city school, and we did the prom and the after prom in the same spot, and it really was, the parents, not the parents, but the teachers and principals, kept a good eye on it. So it wasn't too crazy, no craziness going on. But I don't know. I didn't like formals. I still kind of don't like formals, but I'll do them occasionally.
Phil, are you saying are you really saying that you didn't have a date to the prom? Be real with me.
No. I had a date.
Did you go in your junior year and senior year, or just senior year?
I just went senior year.
And so the after prom was at the same place. So you guys didn't go to like a hotel or some rich kid's house for the after party?
No. You go to prom, and man, what happened? Oh, you go to prom, and then you do the whole deal, and dancing, and everybody's dressed up to the nines. Then you come back in a couple hours, and then you have the after prom, and everybody's dressed down, and my high school was all thugged out. Like, my high school was pretty gangster, man. My high school was pretty gangster, man.
Out there in Harrisburg, PA?
I'm telling you.
Come on, man.
Telling you, man. You better ask about it. You better ask about it.
Dude, it's not South Philadelphia. It's Harrisburg. It's not even I don't even know any other towns in Pennsylvania. I know Erie, Pennsylvania, and I know Pittsburgh.
No. Well, yeah, it's better that you haven't heard of Harrisburg. But I'm telling you, man, my high school was hood, man. But it was cool. The after prom I enjoyed a little bit more.
Nice.
It was, man, I still remember exactly what I wore, too.
What did you wear?
Here's what I wore. I bought this throwback jersey.
Come on! Stop right there. Phil, stop right there. Stop right there.
I'm trying to tell you.
Come on, dude. Okay, tell the story. Tell the story. Please don't tell. If it goes where I think it's going to go, I hope it doesn't go that way. But please tell me the story.
Yep, it was a throwback jersey.
Come on, Phil.
It was a Michelin nest, and I had the hat to match.
Come on, Phil.
Telling you, man.
Wait, this is for the prom or the after prom?
After prom.
Oh, okay. I thought this was for the prom. Like the formal.
For after prom.
Oh, because I was going to say, you probably ended up on a blog. Remember those blogs you would see with like, and there's always black kids with like the most creative, like hood outfits, like for prom, where it's like white on white, and then it might be like, there might be like a OKC Thunder logo on it or something. Like the outfits were just so creative and colorful. Like it really just, it shows our exuberance as a people. But then it's really like you're shaking your head as you're clicking down, looking at these images of these hairstyles and these young brothers going to prom and whatnot.
Hey, if you go through those websites, you will come across somebody from Harrisburg High School. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
I believe it.
So, no, it was. Yeah, I have my throwback jersey with the matching hat.
Who was the athlete? Who did you rock? Do you remember?
I do remember it was a Negro League baseball team.
Nice. Shout out to Josh Gibson or Satchel Paige.
I cannot remember who it was. Cannot for the life of me. Cannot remember.
All right.
I bet you it's still hanging in the closet in my mom's house. I bet you it is. Man.
You'd have to pull that out on like, I don't even know where you can wear jerseys unless you go to a baseball game. I think being at the arena or the stadium or the rink, I think that's the only acceptable place for grown men to wear jerseys. Unless it's a fantasy draft, you can wear it indoors, but outdoors, like you can't really go to the mall in a jersey unless you're going to the mall and you're on the way to the game or you're on your way back from the game. I don't think it's socially acceptable anymore.
Apparently, you don't know Harrisburg, PA.
You're right.
Apparently.
Just Steeler jerseys
I will gladly host you.
I'll go.
Come to the Harrisburg East Mall, and we will just sit and watch, just people watch.
Oh, I bet it would be amazing.
Watch.
It would be amazing.
Yeah, man. It's cool though. Like it's not like it's I don't know. It's hard to explain really, but you will find some jerseys in Harrisburg.
I can't wait to see it. So I'm on the phone, Phil. Where in the world are you right now, Phil?
I am in San Diego. Actually, I'm not in San Diego yet. I was just leaving Seal Beach. I had to.
Wait, it's called Phil Beach, like your name, Phil?
Seal Beach.
Oh, Seal. Sorry, Seal Beach. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Seal Beach, Los Angeles. Had to stop up there and grab some new clothes from the Affliction warehouse up there, the Affliction store. Yeah, man, those guys take awesome care of me, and they just wanted to grab some stuff for Las Vegas this weekend. I'm going to support my man Cain Velasquez, also Team Affliction.
That's your dude, huh? Cain Velasquez?
Mm-hmm.
How did you become friends with Cain Velasquez?
We trained together.
Oh, you do? Really?
Yeah. We used to train together. I used to do a lot more up at AKA, and I used to get up there for a couple months at a time and train with their team and just improve my skills. And man, training with that dude and Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, King Mo. Man, I'm blanking out. You know what the problem is? AKA has too many studs, dude. I can seriously not name them all.
What does AKA stand for, and where is it? You said you've trained up there for a couple of months, but where is up there?
Right, it's in Northern California. It's in San Jose, California. It stands for American Kickboxing Academy. Man, they have just a room full of studs. And don't get me wrong, my gym that I train at in San Diego, we also got a bunch of studs. But they just between those two, my gym and AKA, between the Lions and AKA, I mean, it's a grind. You find the best of the best.
I'm sure in those kind of situations, it's just a bunch of like alpha dogs walking around, and whether they're strutting or everybody's got swag or whatnot, just like that's got to be like probably the most competitive environment is training at gyms where everybody either believes they're the best or walks around like they're the best, or and could probably kick a regular person's ass in about 4.5 seconds.
Yeah,
yourself included.
Yeah. Well, when I first started going to AKA, I was pretty much a regular dude. I was pretty much a regular dude. I was out here trying to learn what I'm doing.
And now you have an 11. Now you have an 11-1 record, and the one loss was a no contest. That's correct? Yeah.
No, I have a 11-1 record and 11-1-1. So I have one loss and one Rashad Evans, and also a no contest against Wagner Prado.
What did you do to Prado to get the no contest?
That was UFC on Spot 7. I accidentally poked him in the eye.
Oh, right. Yes, yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that.
Little unfortunate event. I mean, it was one of those things, man. I was so excited to get back in the cage after losing to Rashad Evans. And I say it all the time when people ask me about it, like, before a fight, I never like to script a fight. You know, if a guy wants to go to the ground, we'll go to the ground. If a guy wants to stand, we'll stand. You know, if I need to wrestle, I'll wrestle. But you never want to go in saying, I'm only going to do this. I'm only going to do that. Because then you put yourself in a box, and you make things difficult for yourself. But when I ran through how this fight was going to go in my head and every possible outcome and how this could happen, how that happened, I never imagined it was even a possibility that I could poke him in the eye and the fight could end. It was just not something I didn't know that could happen. And within a short period of time, there was a couple more eye pokes, and I was like, oh, well, apparently this isn't too uncommon. But, man, I felt horrible after that.
Yeah, I think, wasn't it in your card, was it UFC 160 or 159 was the last one that you did?
159, UFC 159.
Yeah, wasn't it your card that had, or was it the last one that had like, I think 2 or 3 eye pokes? Like it was a high amount of eye pokes for one card. It just seemed like every other fight, like someone was getting poked, and it's all accidental. I mean, the gloves are the way they are, but like guys are just getting jammed up.
Yeah, it was my card. Who got poked in the eye? I think Miller got poked in the eye. And I think also
I can't remember. I can't remember. Yes, Michael Bisping. Yeah, he fought.
Dude, oh goodness! Like certain things, like I'm pretty tough. I can handle it. When someone's bleeding from their eye socket, dude, I can't handle it.
Oh yeah, that's gross.
Look at it. Yeah. When John Jones broke his toe, man, I saw it and I was like, oh man, that's horrible. And then shortly after the main event was over, I'm backstage and waiting for the press conference. And John walks back, and my mom's there. And she's like, "Hell, I want to take a picture with John Jones." I'm like, "Okay, I'll get him, Mom." So I walk over to Johnny. "Hey, what's going on, Johnny? Get you to take a picture with my mom." He was like, "Yeah, no worries." And I looked down at his toe. Whew, worst thing I could have ever done. Oh man, I wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it.
Dude, it was so crazy. Like when Joe Rogan is interviewing him in the ring. And like that moment, and the camera just looks down. And it's like, why is there blood on this guy's toe? And like, it was like, I guess the bone had come through the skin or something. We're just like, it's so weird. And then that moment when John Jones realized, he looks it down at his foot, and you can see it sort of wash over him, like he's starting to get like woozy and like, oh man, this guy might fall off this chair. It was pretty gruesome. I imagine it looked more gruesome up close. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. When I was fighting Tim Bosch, I don't even know how long ago that was, but early on in the UFC, in my UFC career, I fought Tim Bosch, and I was throwing some kicks at him, and I threw a leg kick, and he checked it, and I threw some punches, and I went straight back to the leg kick, and he checked it again, and my shin exploded.
No way.
Yeah, man, my shin exploded, and to me, like, things like blood, people don't understand. Blood is really just, a superficial injury. Anytime you see, usually when you see blood, you got a pretty superficial injury, and it's not so bad. And I was ready to keep going, and I ended up, wrestling him and taking him down and scoring a submission. But afterwards, the doctor was stitching it up, and he's cleaning it out. And when he cleaned it out, he opened up the skin to see how deep it was, see how many stitches it needed to fill. Dude, oh man, it was awful.
Ooh.
It was down to the bone.
Ooh.
Down to the bone. And
how many stitches did you require?
I want to say like 32.
Oh, dude, that's a huge gash, man. That's got some length to it.
It was probably like 2, maybe 3 inches long, and
okay.
It was really deep though. Was the thing. He put some stitches inside, and then he put some stitches outside. And this particular doctor happened to be a plastic surgeon. So he really took his time and did a great job on it.
Oh man,
he did an awesome job on it. It healed up real nicely for me.
Well, you got lucky. That's a great, that's a fortunate set of circumstances that you ended up with the right doctor that was careful and it was like his craft was making things beautiful again, and I guess he did so with your calf muscles, because girls will notice your calf muscles, dude. No, no, not your calf, your shin muscle, right?
Yeah. I told the guy. I said to him, I said, hey, maybe we should do a few less stitches and turn into a scar. Then I'll have a great story to tell.
Yes.
And he looked up at me and gave me the stupidest look. I was like, oh, you know what? Second thought, you can just do it. Do your thing.
On the phone with Phil Davis from the UFC light heavyweight. That story was from UFC 123 back in November of 2010. You carry the moniker Mr. Wonderful, which is awesome. And for those who don't know you, Mr. Wonderful was your cat. Now, the first time you and I spoke, we spoke about your cat, and if someone stole your cat, was it when you were at school?
Yes, I was away traveling with my wrestling team.
And someone stole your cat, and you never did either find your cat or you never found the person that stole the cat, did you? No, I didn't, man. The best way I can explain it is when you're in college and you live in one of those college towns, anything that isn't bolted down and half of the stuff that is bolted down is going to get stolen at some point. That's awesome. So, unfortunately, Mr. One. Okay, well, I have a solution for you, Phil. I'm sure you've heard of this story because it made international news. But Justin Bieber's monkey, he left the monkey in Germany. It's with German officials or authorities. I think it's pronounced a capuchin monkey, whose name is Molly, is in Germany. Bieber had until Monday to claim it. He didn't claim the monkey. So if the UFC is doing a card overseas that you're a part of, you can go claim the monkey, and you can change it from Molly to Mr. Wonderful or Mr. Fantastic or Mr. Whatever. But there's a solution. You can have a new pet courtesy of Justin Bieber. It's only going to cost you $7,000.
You know what, though, dude? Like, crazy as this sounds, that is also kind of scary because, you know, Justin Bieber, man, he's doing things. You know how y'all Canadians are. He's doing things. He's hanging out with rappers. You know what I mean? I got that Justin Bieber. Please believe me. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. But I will tell you this. I will tell you this. That man. I don't want to get into a fight over the man's monkey. You know?
Yeah. No. But he left the monkey though. The monkey is available, Phil. You guys will not beef about the monkey, and Justin's believers will not come after you if you go to Germany and get the monkey and save it from the German. Like, it's probably going to get sent to the zoo, but I'm saying you can. I'm sure the window might be closing, but you can get yourself a new Mr. Wonderful, courtesy of Justin Bieber, if that interests you. No pressure.
No pressure. Yeah, man. The rap game and the music game. It's so crazy. I was at a friend's house and we were hanging out, and he put on one of the music channels, you know, and I didn't know this, but Ray J has this song out called "I Had It First." Right,
I do know that song. Yes.
Right, and I was like, man, that's kind of deep.
That's bold,
deep, bro.
Yeah, he's screaming for attention, and there's no way that Kanye will answer him and his dumbass track, I Got It First. Because as Jay-Z says, you never beef down, you only beef up. And I don't think there's any way Kanye responds to I Got There First. Have you seen the Ray J tape? Ray J Kardashian tape?
No, but I have seen pictures.
It's gonna make you insecure. I've seen the tape, and it's like Ray J, it's like you watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like Ray J's
that's
real.
My show, dude.
Shout out to Khaleesi. See that last episode where she got out the bath?
Dragons, dog.
I know, right? Those dragons are the most gangster weapon ever on TV.
Hey, if Khaleesi lead them dragons over in Germany, I'm grabbing them, man. I'm grabbing them. Like that.
You know how the show in season 3 there was like 1 or 2 episodes where there were no nudity? It made up for it last week when she got out of the bath. Did you see it, or have you seen last week's episode yet?
Dude, I just caught up on my Game of Thrones was that yesterday or the day before?
Yeah.
And man, I was like, oh, snaps. Yeah, like a lot of gangster stuff is going down right now.
Oh,
that boy Joffrey is crazy.
Yeah, they can't.
Crazy, man.
They can't kill him though. To me, like, because he's so despicable, you have to have a villain like him live for some reason. Because he's like, everybody wants him to die, but you gotta keep him alive just for the drama.
And this is one of those times where you have to stop and say, like, I don't know what his name is, the actor, but he is an awesome actor, dude. Awesome. Because I really, somehow, as stupid as it sounds, I really believe it.
So do I, actually.
It's so convincing. He's really a jerk in my mind. I'm like, dog, you're a jerk. You're a jerk.
Yeah.
You're a jerk. I know. He's a jerk, man. I'm just like,
you're just doing that. I don't know if you say he's a jerk. He's a jerk. What was the name of that? What was the name of that group that did that song?
Oh man,
I can't remember.
I don't even know. It was 2 years ago.
I think. I'm just looking him up on. It's Joffrey Baratheon. I'm just looking up the actor's name. Like, you're right. He is so convincing that he might get typecast, or if people see him in the street, they're going to be like either spit on him or want to fight him because his name is Jack Gleason, because he's so convincing as Joffrey Baratheon, who's like the greatest villain in the history of TV villains.
You know, it's one of those things. Like sometimes people play a bad guy, and they do a good job or whatever. This guy sells me. He sells me a personality. I was like, man, he's something else, man. That guy's something else. He really does an awesome job on that show.
He does.
Awesome job.
I'm gonna get you out of here on this one, Phil. To borrow a line from the legendary Tony Kornheiser. Music artists pride themselves on being fashion forward. Some are trendsetters like Nirvana and Pearl Jam, who in the early 90s, they ushered in an era of flannel shirts and long hair. In the late 80s, NWA made Raiders jackets and Raiders ball caps popular among teens. Jay-Z, earlier in like the mid-2000s, early 2000s, single-handedly killed the throwback jersey business, like you wore a throwback jersey at your prom, by uttering the line, "I don't wear jerseys, I'm 30 plus, give me a crisp pair of jeans and some button-ups," from the song What More Can I Say. These days, Kanye West has been wearing a leather kilt, and Justin Bieber, as we mentioned before, his monkey, wears MC Hammer pants. Phil Davis, you proudly rock pink shorts. Do you believe that pink shorts will catch on amongst other fighters?
You know what? I was looking through one of my friends' like Twitter pictures, you know, and they were at a fight, a small show, local show, and this cat was fighting in pink spandex.
Oh, there you go.
True story. And I'm like, I was like, man, like, I don't want to say he's biting my style. I mean, to me, like, it's more of an honor to share it with you than to say, you know, it's mine, don't touch it. So it was like, nah, that's kind of dope.
Okay,
Well,
so there it is, the ripple effect. It has begun. One fighter with pink shorts. How did you arrive at wearing pink shorts?
You know, it was as soon as I got in the UFC, my thing is always to have American Cancer Society and pink ribbon on my short Savannah.
Oh, okay.
That's just my passion. That's one of the things I care about. And so, having said that, my manager told me early on, hey, if you're going to stick with the spandex, you're going to, you know, right now you're okay because you don't have that many sponsors for you. You know, you're working your way up. He said, but later on, you know, your shorts are kind of limiting, you know, how much real estate you have. And I told him, I was like, man, you know, I can't sacrifice my shorts because number one, I'm a wrestler, and spandex is what I'm comfortable in. It's just, and it's like that with a lot of wrestlers. It's just shorts they don't suit me. I don't wear them in practice. I won't wear them in a fight. It just doesn't suit me. So I was like, you know, he said, all right, you know, if that's what you're comfortable in, Phil, that's what we'll do. You know, can we make them longer? And I was like, yeah, I guess. But yeah, it became a little bit of a crunch to get some sponsors on, and then, you know, we were having this conversation about it with my management company and a couple other people, and I think my publicist asked me, she's like, well, why don't we just make the shorts pink and, you know, put some more sponsors on? And I was like, okay, sure. And then she was like, I'm serious. I'm like, whatever, you know, I'll try it, I'll do it. And my manager was like, what if you? I don't know if you really want to do that, but whatever. If you really want to do it, we'll do it. And I did it for the first time, my second fight in the UFC. And after I did, it became one of those things I couldn't go back to. You know, you just don't go back from pink. You know what I mean?
Well, it takes a real man to wear pink.
Yeah, man, it was cool, and nothing about it felt like uncomfortable, insecure. I mean, the first time I got them, and you know, so here's what happens. My manager, Bob Cook, gives me like a day before weigh-ins. He brings me a package with my shorts, my walkout tees, and my banner. And I open up, and I'm like, all right, here go my hats, here go my walkout tees, here's my banner. The banner looks good. I look at the shorts, and I was like, man, I forgot I agreed to this.
And now you're all the way in. Like, you got to be fully committed because it's the day before the fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, funny thing is, we are all the way in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, boy.
My second fight. We're in Abu Dhabi. If I liked the shorts or hated the shorts, that's it. That's it. We're in Abu Dhabi. You walking out with some shorts on.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You're walking out with them shorts on. So I tried them on, and I was like, they're a little bit smaller than the last pair, but you know, I'll rock them, and I did. And man, it was just maybe it was also the way the fight went down. I ended up getting a first-round submission.
Nice.
Over my buddy Alexander Gustafsson, and you know, maybe if I would have lost that fight, I don't know if I'd be wearing pink. I definitely still have pink ribbon on my shorts and banner, but it was just such an awesome experience being there, getting a good win, and over a good guy, and that's history, as they say.
Well, we'll keep counting the wins because they come every time you step in the ring. And it's been awesome watching you. The last time in UFC 159, you punched Vinny Magalhães's face off. Your striking game was as accurate as your friend in Halo. Who is your gamer friend again?
Her name is, I started to say Ariane Celeste. It's not Ariane Celeste. It's Celeste Anderson.
Oh, boy. That's
Celeste Anderson.
Okay, can we just, as a quick aside, Ariane Celeste, are you friends with her?
I mean, we're cool people.
Can you wait? We're cool peoples. I'm trying to read between the line there. Lines.
There's no lines. I mean, like when I see her, you know, I say, "What's up? How you doing? Good, cool." And you know, I don't have her phone number. I don't call her or anything. But yeah, she's always super nice to me, and I mean, we're cool.
Dude, she's like an 11 out of 10. I mean, unless her attitude sucks, then her rating would drop. But just based on appearance, she's like an 11 out of 10. Is she cool in real life?
Yeah, she's cool.
Well, then she will remain an 11 out of 10. I imagine she must.
She's kind of quiet, but it's funny because like quiet people, when they crack a joke, it's like twice as funny.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I didn't even know you had that coming. She's super cool.
And when hot girls crack jokes, it's like an added bonus because you don't think they're going to be that funny. So when they crack jokes, like, oh, okay, yeah, nice, a nice little surprise. UFC 159. It was impressive watching you. I hopefully Vinny has reattached his face, but more than that, as far as interviews go and personalities go, the face of the UFC should have yours on it because you are the best. You're the funniest, the most fun. Our conversation, dude, we were talking about play fighting and getting beat by our parents, high school prom, like all this ridiculous stuff. And it was as cool as just two friends talking in someone's living room. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, man. It's, you know, when I get somebody to ask me good questions, it makes it so easy. We just like you said, we're just chopping it up, man. This is me every day of the week. I appreciate that. Oh, last thing, as I got to say, as far as your pink shorts go, Phil, like the people that you said your manager's name is Bob Cole or Bob Hart or something. It's Crazy Bob Cook and Dwayne Zinkin. Crazy Bob Cook. Listen, you guys got to holler at the Victoria's Secrets camp. Like, if you had Victoria's Secret, like, on the front part of your shorts, right over where your cup is, you just get it in black font, that Victoria's Secret font, either put it on, well, it'd be doper if it was right on the front part of your shorts. Like, I know Victoria's Secret, and this is where it lies. Man, you are something else. Let me make a couple phone calls. Well, listen, Phil, I'm just a creeper. On Twitter, it's at Phil Mr. Wonderful. That's Phil Davis from the UFC. On Twitter, again, it's Phil Mr. Wonderful, MR Wonderful, all one word. Are you on Instagram also? I am. What's right now? I have somebody, some bonehead is trying to steal my swag, man. He stole Phil Mr. Wonderful. On Twitter, it's at Phil Mr. Wonderful. And I was going to get the same tag, and someone stole it. They're squatting on your friggin' name. And he like copied my Twitter picture and my whole Twitter profile. Are you serious? Yeah, man. It's so aggravating, but at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of humbling and interesting to know that somebody would take the time out of their precious day to So, but
No.
To do that.
That guy's a loser. That guy is a friggin' loser. I'll say it. You're too nice to say it because you're a great guy, but that guy's a loser. And if this guy hears that, then give Phil Davis his friggin' Instagram name, you squatter.
Yeah.
You get out of your mom's basement and go do something.
Right now it's Phil MRW. Phil MRW, and pretty soon we're gonna get that shut down, and I'm going to take over Phil Mr. Wonderful.
As you should.
Yeah. Everybody, stay tuned. Phil Mr. Wonderful is going to be taking over shortly on Twitter.
Last thing? Can we look for is your next fight? Is there a date or is there an opponent?
No. Right now we are just waiting and watching.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, sir. Good luck with training. Please don't get injured. And the next time I see you will hopefully be in the ring just damaging some other dude.
Cool. Hey, real quick, I just want to say thanks to my sponsors, Affliction, Wild Wings, Lug Shoes, Oak Grove Technology, and Microtech. They keep me fresh. Appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Thank you for listening to Cabbie Presents, the podcast.